Hi, I'm Petronella, the author of The Human Being Diet and the HBD Cookbook. And I wanted to come on and say hello because it's been a long time. And I made the first YouTube video that you'll probably find on the channel about, 10 years ago, something like that. Anyway, having been in private practice for 20 years, I thought that I would sit down and put everything that I'd learnt into a book and to make the knowledge that I gained, mainly from my clients, available to everyone. And it wouldn't cost thousands of pounds to come and see me. It would cost about 15 quid to buy a copy of the book. So lots of people ask me which book they need. This book, the orange one, is absolutely essential. And the cookbook is, I would like to say that's essential too, because it's going to make your journey, your HBD journey, much more enjoyable and more delicious. But this one has got all the rules and the program itself in it. Please do read it from cover to cover. And as soon as you finish reading, read it again. The first edition was published in 2018 and it took me 3 months, which isn't very long to write a book. But the reason it took 3 months was a journalist from the Daily Mail came to see me and she'd been commissioned to write about the programme. And I just imagine somebody scrolling through that article and thinking, well, I wish I had thousands of pounds to go and see a private nutritionist. And then they get to the end of the article and see that there was a book which they could buy, as I said, for about 15 quid, and they could do the programme themselves at home. So that was really the impetus for writing the book, because it had begun to dawn on me that it was rather unfair. I had a very busy practice and people kept saying, well, you need to put your prices up. And I did, and I put the prices up, and people kept coming. But it began to dawn on me that that really wasn't fair, that people shouldn't have to be wealthy in order to understand how to look after themselves. And so it was a big push for me, really, to try and democratize the process of people knowing how to look after themselves. And that's why I wrote the book. And so it's freely available now, being completely updated and revised, and it's a much clearer a clearer read than the first book was, because it took me more than a year. So more than a year compared to 3 months. And I hope you'll enjoy it. And I hope that you will seize the day. Because you know what? There's never a perfect moment to start anything new, anything big like this, except today, or maybe tomorrow at the latest. So read this book. Read it again. Acquaint yourself with the glossary in the back. It's packed full of references. It's got a few recipes in it. And any question you've got, just check the index, because the index on the first book was pretty lousy too, I have to say. And then once you're ready to get going, get this book. Beautiful, full colour recipes for all phases of HBD. So for phase 1, which is 2 days of vegetables only, recipes for phase 2, which is 2 weeks, 14 days of one type of protein and a mixture of vegetables with each meal, 3 meals a day. No oil, no alcohol, no grains, no dairy, just really, really pure. So expect to have a bit of a detox in the first 2 weeks. And then recipes for phase 3, which is when we add olive oil, extra virgin olive oil back in. And the best thing about phase 3 is you get to have a treat meal once a week, and you break all the rules and have exactly what you fancy. And that's got two purposes, really. First of all, if you keep doing what you're doing in the first 16 days, which is a kind of low-calorie approach, the metabolic rate, the rate at which we burn energy, begins to drop, because our body's trying to conserve energy to keep us alive, basically. But if you have a treat meal once a week and say to your body, we're not starving to death, look at all these extra calories, all this extra food, that actually re-stimulates fat burning again. But the second reason, which is equally important, is that pleasure is good for us. And it's very important as human beings that we sit down once a week, maybe even twice a week, with our friends and our relatives and literally break bread together and enjoy ourselves. So that's why the treat meal is so important. There's a third potentially important reason, which is a process called hormesis. And hormesis basically means a little bit of poison perks everything up. So, as I was saying, once a week, take your body by surprise. Go wild with a chocolate mousse, whatever else it might be, and really enjoy yourself. And that actually perks up our immune system and makes our immune system stronger. So there you go.